stuff. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
I felt good the whole time.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's just some people get hit by it. Some people, well, Paul almost he's in trouble.
I pick it for everyone.
Good thing.
We're live, boys.
Okay. All right.
A few people popping on right now. Welcome on, everybody.
Right now.
We'll get started here in a couple minutes.
Yeah. Let everybody kind of warm up and get in.
We've covered most of the country with the three of us on today's call. Yeah.
Oh, we have. Yeah. Midwest, the East, and the West Coast.
Yeah.
East Coast, West Coast.
Got Florida, Vegas, and Kansas.
Yeah.
Representing the middle.
Yeah.
Flyover country. This is what...
Yeah. I want to fly. I used to know that city down there.
Yeah.
Wichita, Kansas.
We are flyover.
Well, how's the weather down there in Florida? Is it pretty nice still?
It is so bad. We got all the way down to 58 today.
Was that at midnight?
I have a nice sweater on. I mean, I do have shorts, but I mean, I do have a sweater.
Yeah, we warmed up today to like 52.
Oh man.
It was down like 36 or 37 at night, last couple nights.
I got to 70 yesterday, and today the high was 41. So it was a little.
Yeah. Well, you guys get that kind of a lot of wind through there.
If it's from the north, it's freezing. If it's from the south, we get pretty decent weather this time of year. But it comes out of the north a lot this time of year, so it cools off.
Who's on? Let me see. Oh, hey, Michael, how you doing? Leonard, my friend, how are you doing? I haven't talked to you. I got to get out of my own way and call Leonard. Leonard's got all kinds of stuff going on. Jeff from Charleston. Walter Brown, how are you doing? Pino, how you doing?
Pino, go to the phone store and get your phone fixed.
Yeah, Pino, you got to go to the phone store. We think you got a problem with your phone, actually, and we've had this happen. But just hook in with Evelyn. She'll get you set up. Let's see. Darius, how you doing, Darius? Lloyd, how are you doing? Jim Clover, Art Richardson. Art, how you doing, buddy? Kevin is on.
Kevin and Laurel.
Yeah, and Leonard said it all good. I like that positive attitude. Leonard can walk through walls, man. That dude got it going on. James Jones, Trip Nation. Arias is on. Hola. ¿Cómo estás, my friend? We're going to get started here. Just give it another minute or so, and then we'll get started. Got some good stuff to cover. Paul's going to be on, and Tony's on. He's going to go through PowerPoint, and then I'm going to go through kind of an update where we are with different companies that we're pulling together. It's kind of interesting. We're getting a pretty good shot at some pretty big guys, and when we'll be able to announce those. We haven't even really announced that we bought Paul's company. Geez, what are we thinking?
I've announced it a lot. Don't you worry.
Yeah, we figured we'll buy Paul because he's already in the Florida market and got restaurants and drivers. So we're going to talk about that tonight too. What time is it?
Go time.
Let's go, guys. Okay, let it. Want me to do a little quick intro, or I did enough intros already?
You're good to go, Bob. We're going to bring you on to shut her down and close us out. And you know, we definitely have some of the Trip family on, and we do have some guests that are brand new, maybe seeing the the company for the very first time. And really what we're going to do tonight is I want to run through just a brief company overview, share a little bit about who we are as a company, how we got started, where we're at today and where we're going in the future, and how you could be a part of what we're doing and how it can benefit you and your family financially. And so I'll share my screen real quick. And, like I said, I'm going to go through, quick presentation. This isn't designed to maybe answer every question you might have about Trip Delivers and what we're doing, but it's going to give you enough information to know whether you want to learn more. And some of you, it might give you enough information to know that you want to be a part of what we're doing. And either way, after we're done, we'll give you a chance to contact whoever invited you onto our live stream tonight, and you can kind of get with them and some of the leadership and get any questions or concerns answered, or maybe if you're wanting to get started and partner up with the Trip family, you can find out how to do that as well. So I'll share my screen, and then we'll get through this overview, and then we'll close things out. The Trip Delivers company itself is pretty new. We were really formed recently, launched, just in November 2020, based out of Las Vegas, but it's been a couple years in the making. It's something that our CEO really has put together, and he's a disruptor, and that's really what we're geared on doing. We're tapped into the restaurant delivery business, which is massive, multiple billions of dollars and growing, and then we've actually specialized in disrupting a lot of the major players in this industry. So if you look at the restaurant delivery industry as a whole, 60% of consumers are ordering delivery or takeout once a week. It's growing 300% faster than dine-in traffic. And obviously, with the interesting times during this pandemic, delivery is far outpacing dine-in traffic. It's some states, it's the only way you can get food is through delivery. And it's actually projected, this is before the pandemic, it was projected to hit 200+ billion by 2025. But with kind of what's been going on, that number is growing much quicker than anticipated. And the major industry players, you've got the DoorDashes, Grubhubs, multiple $1 billion a year in revenue. You've got hundreds of millions a year in revenue from companies like Delivery.com and Waiter and Eat Street. And the thing about all these major players is they're doing everything exactly the same way. And what that's done within the industry, it's created a lot of unhappy restaurants that feel like they're getting overcharged by these delivery services. It's created a lot of unhappy drivers that feel like they're maybe not getting to keep all of their tips that are coming in, maybe not getting a chance to keep all the fees that are being charged for the delivery that should be going to drivers potentially. And then you've got customers that are getting upset with hidden fees and checking out and seeing that their order is way more than they thought it was going to be because of markups and because of hidden fees. And so what that has created is an opportunity. And that's what Trip Delivers was really created on, was a way to disrupt the industry. And it's a pretty simple mission statement: create happy restaurants, happy drivers, and happy customers. And when you look at the differences in Trip Delivers versus the other major players in the third-party delivery space, you look at the restaurants, for example. With the Uber Eats of the world, the DoorDashes, if you've got a restaurant that averages 20 orders a day at around $40 in the average order, that's just over $280,000 in annual sales for that restaurant through the delivery arm. They'll pay in the neighborhood of $99,000, almost $100,000 in delivery fees if they're utilizing Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub. That's a chunk of change. But if you look at the way Trip Delivers does things, 20 orders a day, they don't charge a commission on the order value. So they have a flat rate, 7,300 orders per year. That's $14,600 in fees at $2 of a flat rate per order. That's $84,993 in annual savings to the restaurant. So that creates happy restaurants. When you've got a restaurant owner, especially during these crazy times when restaurants are really trying to cut costs anywhere they can, increase profits anywhere they can, if through their delivery arm you can save them $84,000+ a year, that's going to create a really happy restaurant. And it's not just the restaurant side. We also, the drivers are paid instantly. Our restaurants are paid instantly. They set up literally their own merchant accounts. So the funds hit their bank account. Next day, the cards go right through their own merchant accounts. And so they don't have to wait days, weeks, months to get paid like some of the people that partner with the big companies. They wait a long time for their checks. Our customers have no hidden service fees or any surprises like some of the big companies charge. So we do create those happy restaurants, happy drivers, and happy customers because we're transparent. We do things the right way. And our team, the executive team, is second to none. These are people that have built multiple billion-dollar companies, exited several times, trained hundreds of thousands of people over the years, and they specialize in market disruption and viral growth. Robert McNulty, he's somebody that has exited several times in the hundreds of millions of dollars. He's a gentleman that created Home Club, which was Home Depot and Lowe's before Home Depot and Lowe's existed. It's always nice when you get with a visionary, somebody that sees things happening before the rest of the world sees it. And he saw the need for a big hardware store, a big home store like a Home Depot or Lowe's before those even existed. And he created it and then exited for hundreds of millions of dollars. Then after that, he created shopping.com. Wouldn't you like to go back in time and buy the domain name shopping.com? All of us on this overview would love to have done that, except for Robert McNulty, because he did it. And then he sold it to Compaq Computers for $300+ million. And so he's somebody that specializes in market disruption and viral growth. And his whole goal is to disrupt the restaurant delivery industry. And that's what Trip Delivers is doing. To get started with Trip Delivers is really simple. It's free. Just become a customer. And not only do customers get to order food like they could with DoorDash or Grubhub or Uber Eats, but our customers can actually earn income by referring other customers, referring restaurants, referring drivers. So they can actually create an income stream doing something they've already done. So many of us have already referred people to Grubhub or Uber Eats or DoorDash, and maybe they gave us a coupon for a free delivery fee. We certainly aren't getting paid residual income for those referrals. Trip Delivers does exactly that. And you can actually not only become a customer, but if you're interested in the gig economy, looking to make extra income, you can become what we call a side hustle driver, where you can do up to 75 deliveries a month. Our drivers get paid at least $5.40 per delivery. That's another thing that a lot of the DoorDash drivers and some of the Grubhub guys and Uber Eats guys really get disappointed with, is when they get an order where they're going to make $2 or $3 for doing a delivery. And a lot of them will just deny those orders. Our drivers are making a minimum $5.40 plus extra fees per mile, plus they're getting all of their tips. We don't take any piece of their tips. That goes right into their own merchant account, funding right into their bank. There is a monthly fee, $39.99. The other great thing about it is you don't pay the fee until after you've driven for a month. So you make way more money driving for Trip Delivers than you do for the other big players. And then at the end of the month, if you want to keep driving, you pay your fee. And then you drive again for the next month. If you're wanting to do more than just side hustle, you can become what's called a pro driver and do unlimited deliveries per month. And you get $99 a month fee that's due at the end of the month after you've already earned your money. But you get a raise on your referrals. Instead of making 40% for referring restaurants or drivers or customers, you make 50%. And we open up what's called Connect 2 referrals for our pro drivers. And I'll explain what that means in our compensation plan briefly. You can also upgrade to our marketer position. That's $399 per year. A marketer is someone, maybe you've got a background in team building, training, you've built organizations. A marketer is someone who's looking for a little more than part-time income. Maybe they're looking for a career move, or they're looking for substantial income that could potentially replace a full-time income. They actually earn 50% on referrals. They get a raise on their Connect 2, and they start earning what we call Connect 3 referrals, and I'll explain that. We also have a replicating website, a Verb marketing platform that's included for all of our marketers, and a round-robin lead generator program for our marketers as well. So there's definitely some bells and whistles that come along for our marketers to help them build a massive organization. There's 4 ways you can earn with Trip Delivers: referring customers, referring drivers, referring restaurants, or referring other marketers. Pretty simple concept. Several ways that we pay out. You get paid per order off the restaurants and customers you refer. You get monthly commissions off any drivers or marketers you refer. You can make annual commissions off the restaurants and marketers as well. And then we've got our Connect 2 and Connect 3 overrides. And I'll go through just a couple brief examples. No matter what position you are, if you're a free customer or you're a marketer and you refer restaurants or customers, you make 40 cents per order, which a lot of people go, 40 cents, that doesn't sound like a lot. But when you refer restaurants and you think about someone that refers 10 restaurants that are averaging about 20 deliveries a day, which is pretty conservative. We've got restaurants that'll do 100 deliveries a day. We've got some that'll do less, but 20 deliveries a day is very doable. That's 6,000 orders per month. And if you've got 6,000 orders per month at 40 cents an order, you're making $2,400 per month off of those 10 restaurants you referred. And that's every month. As long as they're still delivering with Trip Delivers, you're getting paid. So whether you're a customer or a driver or a marketer and you refer those restaurants, you can make an extra couple $1,000s a month. Now, what if you referred 20 restaurants, 40, 50? We've got individuals that are on this webinar that have referred 60 plus restaurants in a week. So it's definitely doable. It just kind of depends on how much you want to work and how hard you want to work at it. So there's definitely a lot of income to be made through the restaurant referral side. If you introduce drivers, professional drivers, you can make up to $50 a month off each driver that you refer. So if you introduce 10 pro drivers at $50 a month, you're making $500 a month off of those pro drivers. Plus, if you've got those 10 restaurants you referred, now you're at $2,900 per month. As long as those drivers are making money and doing their deliveries, and as long as those restaurants are in business and delivering food, you're making that income, and it's month after month after month. You can always add more drivers and add more restaurants. There's no limit to how many drivers or restaurants you can refer to the Trip Delivers family. We also have our annual commissions. If you introduce those restaurants and they pay their activation fee, or they want to become a member, which lowers their flat fee from $3 to $2, you can make a $100 one-time fee off the activation and membership. And then each year as they renew their membership, you can make another $50. But if you introduce 10 restaurants in your first year, that's $1,000. If you did it in your first month, you'd make $1,000 that month. Plus, you've got your restaurants and drivers. You're already making that residual income of $2,900 on. You can make $3,900 the first month if you've got those restaurants, those drivers, and then the activation and membership fees. So folks that say, listen, Christmas, kind of drained our accounts along with this pandemic, I could use some extra income. You can make some money quickly with the Trip Delivers compensation plan. We also have our connection commissions, where if you introduce drivers, customers, restaurants, you get paid. But also, if you introduce, let's say, somebody like myself as a marketer, you can actually earn an override off of me and the restaurants that I refer, the drivers I refer, the customers and marketers that I refer to the Trip Delivers family. If you're a marketer, you can make a little more off of the Connect 2, which would be me. And if I introduce someone like Paul, he'd be your Connect 3. You can make a percentage off of Paul and all the restaurants he introduces and all the drivers and all the customers that he refers to the Trip Delivers family. That can add up. If you look at, the Connect 2, if you had 3 people that you referred directly and they all went out and got 10 restaurants and 10 drivers each, you'd have 30 drivers and 30 restaurants on your Connect 2 level. That would create $2,250 per month in residual income. Just off of the people that you introduced. You might not know the restaurants that they brought on. You might not know the customers they introduced. You might not know any of the drivers that they referred, but you're still getting a percentage off every one of those drivers, every one of those customers, every one of those restaurants as orders are going out. There's Connect 3 as well. So at your Connect 3, if you had 9 individuals on your Connect 3, and they all went out and got 10 drivers and 10 restaurants each, now you'd have 90 drivers and 90 restaurants. That would create $450 per month from the drivers and $2,700 a month from the restaurants. So you've got your Connect 2 at $2,250 per month, Connect 3 and Connect 2 combined, now you're at $5,400 per month, plus your $2,900 from your own restaurants, your own drivers that you referred, you're at $8,300 per month. You've referred 10 restaurants, 10 drivers. You taught 3 people to do the same thing as you, and you helped them teach 3 people how to do the same thing. 12 people in your organization. You've all introduced a few restaurants and a few drivers, and you're cleaning up. I mean, you're over $8,000 per month in this example. The bottom line is there's people on this webinar who have built organizations of well over 100,000 people. So if they can do 100,000, I just figured, you know what, maybe I can do 12. I can introduce 3 and help them do the same. Maybe I can introduce 5 or 10. You don't have to stop at 3, but the bottom line is anyone can do this. We're already referring people to delivery apps all the time. We're referring people to restaurants all the time. The problem is we're not getting paid to do that. And that's exactly what Trip Delivers allows us to do. And we teach and train you every step of the way. So for those of you that are seeing this and saying, you know, this looks like something I could do, I want to introduce a good friend of mine. And he's somebody that mentored me when I first started in the direct sales industry back in 2000. He was a trainer. He was somebody that really shared with me his vision of where a company could go and how I could be a big part of building something that could create wealth, not only for myself, but for my family. And he's a gentleman that not only has an amazing background in direct sales, he's created several multiple $million-a-year companies. He's also created a super strong restaurant delivery service. So you've got someone that has the background in recruiting, marketing, training, and a background in owning and operating a massive restaurant delivery service in South Florida. So he's literally an expert in every area that the Trip Delivery family looks for in leadership. And so for those of you that are interested in how to get started, he's created kind of a simple 4-step process. And I want to introduce Mr. Paul Michael to kind of share with us what to do now if we're excited and we want to get started with the Trip Delivers family.
Tony, I really appreciate that introduction. And until you said my name, I thought you were talking about somebody else. So that's very nice of you. Tony, I'll just give you a little bit of background real quickly. First of all, Tony is one of those people that's probably 10 times out earned me from the things that he took and learned. Like there's some people that can teach things and there's some people that can do things. I can do a little bit and teach a little bit. Tony can do both. So, and then I'll just tell you a little bit about how Tony got me into the restaurant delivery service a few years ago. And I got excited about it. First of all, if you're on this call and you're like me, I was not one of those kids that sat at home. I was born and raised in Texas. My first introduction to a restaurant was actually working in it, and I hated it, and I didn't want anything to do with it. So I got out of it as quick as I possibly could. But I understood that is a business that's always going to go. And when I was not with that kid that sat around and goes, man, someday, please, Jesus. And I put it on my card and wish for Santa that I could grow up and be a delivery person and be in the restaurant delivery service. Like that is not what I set out to do. So if you're like that, understand I wasn't either. But one of the things I do is my mentor always taught me, you find a big solution to a big problem, usually get a big paycheck. And so whenever I started looking at the restaurant delivery service through Tony, I started realizing how can these restaurants do this? Like how can they give up 15, 20, 30% of their profit and still do it? And a lot of them, they just didn't understand what was going on. They didn't understand how they were paying that money. They didn't understand, what was going on. So, but they just did it. When the pandemic hit, a lot of restaurants started going, whoa, wait a minute. We don't have full restaurants anymore. We don't have people sitting in here. So what is going on? And I'll tell you this, for the last 2.5 years, I've built my own software. We put hundreds of thousands of dollars into it. I've spent my time, effort, money, every bit of my soul learning this business. I've probably done more deliveries than most of the people that are on this call tonight, learning how it works. I've tested out Uber Eats. I've tested out DoorDash. I've done everything you can possibly do. And about 3 weeks ago, I got a call from somebody that knows Tony very well, one of his business partners. And I said, I'm doing this. And he goes, Tony's already doing it. And I'm like, I'm going to kill myself. But when I started talking to Tony, and then he introduced me to Mr. McNulty, I started going, you know what? I've been praying and believing there's other people like-minded out there who understand that this isn't just about making a lot of money. Yes, you can make a lot of money, but you need to do it where you fill a problem. find a solution to a big problem, you get a big paycheck. And so I started talking to Mr. McNulty. I started talking to Tony. We spent about an hour and a half on the phone. I got done with that phone and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm shutting my company down and going with these guys. And if I decided as an owner who's been doing this, and I'm telling you, I'm up in the morning at 4:30 in the morning talking to people in India with developers every single day doing this. If someone like me, and I'm not saying I'm that smart or that, but I'm telling you, this opportunity that they put together is second to none. And I would not have left what I was doing if it wasn't for the two gentlemen that are running this company. And the more I learn about the people, Evelyn and Amy and all the other people involved, the more excited I get on a daily basis, because I really, truly believe that there's going to be a company that breaks $100 billion in this industry. And I believe it's going to be true. So if you're going to get started, it's easy. There's 4 steps. When I met my mentor years ago, he goes, listen, I'm going to make it easy for someone like you. And I felt like he was being mean to me, but he wasn't. We want things that are simple. Keep it simple. Stupid is what I've always been taught. So you want to sign up on the app. You want to get started. You want to become a customer. That's easy. Then you want to try the service. If we don't have restaurants in your city yet, you can go in and you can put Nashville in the top bar, and you can see all the restaurants that are active in Nashville. You can see how the flow goes. You can see how the tech works. So you want to place your first order. If you're in Nashville, place your order. The third step, this is the most important step of everything that we're ever going to do in this industry. When I met my mentor, he goes, listen, it's not about, when we've all heard it, it's not about what you know, it's who you know. I wouldn't be involved in this company if Tony didn't say in his own head, who do I know? Who do I know that could be in this industry? Who do I know that's into this? And listen, I guarantee you, if Tony would have prejudged me and said, I know Paul's been doing this for 2 years. I know he's put all his money, time, effort into building a software program, and he prejudged me, which some of you are going to do that. You're going to prejudge someone and go, well, they wouldn't be interested. They already have a job. You don't know if they hate their boss. You don't know if they're about to get furloughed or laid off or any other nice little word they have for you're fired. So who do you know is important? Who do you know that could be a customer? You want to get every single person you possibly can on this app. You're going to get a referral code. You go under refer and earn, you hit out the button and it'll send them a referral code. You want to get every single person you know around the country, because guess what? When the app when we come to their city and we have 150 restaurants in their city and they're ordering and you already got them signed up on that app 6 months or a year ago, guess what you're going to get? Paid. Every single time they order, you get paid. So now is the time to hit this as hard as you possibly can. 2021 is about to be a whole new year. I mean, I can already tell 21 is going to be a better year than 2020 because it couldn't get any worse, maybe. But so you want to get as many customers as you can. You want to think about drivers. There are so many people that you would be surprised that would do driving just to make a little bit of extra income. There's some people that do this as I'm a part of all kinds of DoorDash groups, Uber Eats driver groups, all these different things. There are people that make full-time incomes that have left jobs in corporate America because they hate corporate America, or they can't make the ends meet. So they do this on a side hustle. I met a gentleman that has 3 master's degrees. He's out of Maryland. I got on the phone with him. And it's so funny. At first I was like, he's not going to do this. He's not going to be involved in this. And he goes, because he's, you know how people brag. They tell you all these big things. And he goes, you know what, Paul, this is really interesting to me, because whenever things kind of went south for me and I got out of one of my businesses, I did over 1,000 trips driving people with Uber, just driving people around. He goes, this makes me excited because I can do this whenever I want, however I want, and build a business. So you want to get as many customers as you want. You want to get as many drivers as you want. And you want to get as many restaurants as you want. Restaurants and marketers are so important. I'm going to go through restaurants real quickly. How many of us know someone that owns a restaurant? And what we're going to do trainings as Tony and I go along. Some of our strengths are recruiting. We're going to teach you what to say to people, what not to say to people, when to say it to people. Like, listen, if you're going to talk to a restaurant, guess what? The best time to walk into a restaurant is probably not between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., right during the middle of their lunch rush. There's reasons and things to say, what not to say, how to say things. I mean, there's so many different intricacies that we can teach you because we've been taught over the last 20 years how to recruit, how to sell, how to get a restaurant interested. I called one of my friends today that owns a restaurant. I texted him the other day and I go, hey, you know what I've been doing with the delivery business. He didn't even sign up with my company to have delivery. And my company was free. And I said, listen, here's the deal. I want to come and talk to you. I need your opinion, and I want you to trash this company and tell me why I shouldn't get involved with it, even though I was already involved with it. I went and met with him, and within an hour, he goes, this is amazing. This is a great idea. He goes, you know what? I'm going to get you back with my owners. And he was a GM and with his owners, and they're starting cloud kitchens and all kinds of stuff. So there's certain ways to do things that will teach you. And the last people that you're going to want to think about is, who do you know that wants to be involved with a company that in my heart of hearts, I truly believe will be $1 billion company one way or another. We'll either go out and beat these guys because we know what we're doing. You got some of the greatest leadership on the face of the earth behind this, with the greatest tech, with the greatest finance, with everything that's going on. But you also have people that are going to do it the right way. You're going to have people that aren't out you're not going to have people that are just out to make a buck and take advantage of the restaurants. The people that work with me, in my group, some of them care more about the restaurants than the bottom line sometimes, I think. But the great thing about it is, with this company, we can go out and we can find marketers. How many of us know stay-at-home moms that would love to make an extra income and love to help the restaurants in their area? One of the ladies that works with me, Suzanne, she has a big mission and focus on, she's calling it female footies. Don't take her name or she'll kill me. But she has a whole thing that she wants to do about getting females in different areas around the country that want to help restaurants. Because guess what? Restaurants are the lifeblood of America. They really, really are. And we notice it when they're gone. How many of us don't notice something till it's gone? That's what we finally have figured out. Restaurants are the lifeblood. So we're going to find people that market. And it's so funny. Somebody the other day goes, well, who do you market this to? I don't know. Everyone that eats. It's pretty much everyone in the single world, like anyone that breathes. Everything that we do, we can either have customers, we can have restaurants, we can have drivers and marketers. We're going to help you find people that want to build a real business, that want to go out and build a business. And the fourth step to this whole thing is training. Scientists have proven that we only retain 7 to 10% of what we hear the first time. Tony said there was a training yesterday afternoon and I missed it. And I won't tell you the words I used when I told him, texted him back. But I want to learn every single thing I can. And the reason why is because the more I hear it, the more I know it, the more I'm into it, the better off I am. So every time there's an opportunity to get on one of these calls or I'm old, so I call them calls, but these Zoom meetings or YouTube live or whatever we got going, anytime you have the opportunity to put yourself in front of someone like Mr. McNulty or Tony, or even someone like myself that's got a little bit of experience, take advantage of it. Because let me tell you something, every single thing we teach you is going to be the truth. Because guess what? If you have a job, listen, and I don't have the circles, but Tony and I used to use this thing all the time. If you got 100% of the information, if you're going to learn how to play basketball, I'm in Florida. Tiger Woods lives about 6 miles and $40 million away from me. But if you could learn how to play golf, would you, just looking at me, you can see it in my skin and my face. You can look at, if you wanted to learn how to play golf, would you rather learn how to, and when I said that, I meant the fat in my face. When you would learn how to play golf, would you rather learn from Tiger Woods or me? Tiger Woods. That's rude, Tony, but thanks. But the thing about it is, you want to learn from somebody that has the knowledge. But guess what? Tiger Woods is busy out playing. Tiger Woods is busy out doing what he does. He doesn't have time, and he's not going to come and teach you. Someone like Tony, someone like Mr. McNulty, they have the vested interest in teaching you every single thing they know, because the more they teach you, the better the company gets. And it's a self-fulfilling thing over and over and over. Because let me tell you something, if you have 100%, somebody at the top knows 100%, and let me tell you, let's take Mr. McNulty. He knows 100% of how to run this business. Tony knows 100% of how to run this business. If you had the opportunity to learn from them on a daily basis, which you do, you're going to be a lot better off. But if you have somebody that teaches somebody who teaches somebody who teaches somebody who teaches somebody, doesn't the information get lost? Yeah. It's called whisper down the lane or gossip, telephone, whatever you want to call that game. And the information gets lost. By the time you get down to the bottom, if I gave you, listen, if it starts at 100, let's say the next person gets 50, then it goes to 25, then to 12. I know if you analytical people, it's 12 and a half. Then it goes down to 6. Then it goes down to 3. If you walk into Trip Delivers and all you're getting is 3% of the correct information on how to be successful, are you going to do well? No. If somebody gave you 3% of the correct directions on how to get somewhere, would you get there or would you just get nowhere? Yeah. But that's what traditionally happens. And traditionally in most businesses, the guy above you has no vested interest in helping you. If you're working with me, I have a vested interest in you in making as much money as you possibly can and passing me because I make a piece of that for the rest of my life. So that's our 4 steps. That's what's got us excited about this. And I'm telling you, taking what we know when it comes to affiliate marketing and networking and getting people involved is so vitally important. It's going to be amazing. And I'm so excited to be a part of this company. I'm so excited to be that they let me, have a little part in this. And I can't wait to see where we go.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate you helping us, get started. For those of you that are brand new, that are wanting to take that next step. And, Bob and I were really excited that, Paul was able to kind of open to selling, kind of letting us merge his company into the Trip Delivers family. And it's something that we're really excited about. Paul and his team coming on board and really helping us grow, not only through South Florida, but through the entire United States. And I want to turn this thing back over to our CEO and kind of let him close things out, because he was, I guess, in the Christmas spirit a couple of days ago, and he let us really create a promotion where, we could earn quite a bit of stock in the Trip Delivers family. And as we build our organizations and bring marketers into our Connect 1, Connect 2, or Connect 3 organization, every time a marketer comes into that organization, we earn 500 stock options. So if you introduce me and I became a marketer, boom, 500 stock options. If I introduce Paul, and he becomes a marketer, I get 500 stock options, you get 500 stock options. If Paul introduces Suzanne, Paul gets 500 stock options, I get 500 stock options, you get 500 stock options for Suzanne coming in as a marketer. And, I can't make any guarantees or promises, but I know this. I know our CEO has exited several times in the hundreds of millions of dollars, and he believes that this will be the biggest play he's ever made. I think pretty conservatively, if we do what we're capable of, we'll be in the $10 a share range. If we do, astronomical, which happens, the DoorDashes of the world open at $180 a share. I wouldn't mind having 500 shares at $180 a share. I wouldn't mind having 5,000 shares or 50,000 shares. There's people on this call that are going to bring in so many marketers. They're going to gobble up thousands and thousands of shares of this stock between now and the end of January is when this promotion is lasting until. So I want to kind of turn this back over to our CEO and just kind of get an idea of his vision. And he's the gentleman that's exited. He's created billion-dollar organizations over the years, and he's looking to create this bigger and better than anything he's ever created in his history. And so I'll turn it over to our CEO and our true visionary, Mr. Bob McNulty.
Hey, thanks, Tony, and thanks, Paul. Paul, you did great on that. I want to kind of reiterate a little bit what you were talking about. It was training, and as life goes, I happened to read yesterday a posting that one of our reps made online about training, and he said, enough with training, when do we get to go to work? And I thought, wow, enough with training? You can never train too much, ever, because things are always changing. So you need to be up to speed. One of the things that Tony did the day he got here was focus on training. So if you go in your back office right now, you'll see every piece of marketing literature, training materials. Shanna does 2 trainings a week. Norma Marie does 2 trainings a week. I'm a big believer in training. So if you think you're training too much, you haven't even started yet. If you want to make real money, I would train yourself daily and take 15 minutes a day and reread and read and think about how to approach people, how to get a smile on your face. Business is pretty simple if you keep it that way, but you can never have too much training. And I hope the person that said that is on this call. I'm not being critical. I'm telling you what I do. I train myself every day. I haven't used an alarm clock in 45 years, but I'm up at 5 o'clock every day. I just train myself to wake up. And those are important lessons if you're going to really knock it out of the park. So I have a little list right here I put together. It's called strategic initiatives. Those are very critical to the company because as you're doing startups, the separation between what you're doing and your competitor does is monumental. And we have to be monumental greater than them to deserve the business from the customer. How does that work? It works really simple. You develop a business model that kicks the competitor's butt. That's how you do it. We have that business model. Business models matter, believe me. And I'm going to show you why they matter right here on this little piece of paper. We're a brand new little company. We've been in development for 2 years. We got a heart like a lion, though. And we're already getting big companies coming to us. And I'll just go over the Ghost Kitchens US and Canada that we signed up. We're going to be in Canada in the next 2 weeks, forming the corporation, getting things going, opening Toronto, Edmonton, Vancouver. So there's about 24 ghost restaurants up there. And just to give you an idea what a ghost restaurant can do a day, they have between 400 and 600 orders a day flying out their door. Just one restaurant. In case you don't know what a ghost restaurant or a cloud restaurant is, it's just a cooking facility that may have 15 or 20 different kinds of food. So it may have Mexican, Italian, Chinese, you know, it can have any kind of Asian fusion, whatever it might be, but they'll have about 15 to 20 different kinds. So all they're doing is cooking. There's no in-house or in restaurant eating at all. It's all for outsourcing deliveries. It is the newest thing online right now. So we have one of the #1 companies in the United States and Canada that wants us to do their deliveries for them. That deal's done. That's all based on 2 people that did that, Leonard Wright and Eris, who brought that deal to us, and it's going to be spectacular. So we're in the loop on that. And then we went and did another deal with another company called Restaurant Managers. Restaurant Managers, owned by a Fortune 500 company. They have 20,000 restaurants in their system, and they've been wonderful to us. We worked out a deal. Tony's been heading that up. So they're going to give us Atlanta, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, and Orlando to start with. That's just to start with. So if we do a great job there, we have the opening of 20,000 restaurants with these folks. And I'm telling you, they're world class. They've been unbelievable to our company, and we're on our way. So we're working with the tech side right now to facilitate those markets I just mentioned to you and get those up and running. And then today I had another call from another ghost kitchen operator, which is very, very large. They're probably the #1 or 2 largest ghost kitchen operators in the United States, by far the fastest growing, if that's even possible, to faster than Leonard's companies. So I have a call with them tomorrow. And all this is going to do, it's going to get faster and faster and faster as we start getting girth and opening markets. That opportunity translates back to you to bring on the drivers, to do all these things. But think about George Graham. If you guys don't know him, he's down in Florida. He brought Restaurant Managers to us. Just think if he ends up with 20,000 restaurants, what his annual income is going to look like at 40 cents a ride or 40 cents a delivery. That'll change his life. Believe me, and I'd love to change. George is probably even on here, but he's been super to work with. And he called me up and he says, now, is this going to work the way you described it? And I said, of course it's going to work the way we described it. That's the way we run our business. This is your business. This is your company. You brought it to the table. We're 100%. I said, every email we have with the company that we're working with, and Tony and myself, you'll be copied on every transmission of information, period. Be never left out of anything, because this is your business. You brought it. He's already working on another deal that's very large like this. So
you tell George to slow down, because I'm in Florida.
Yeah, exactly. So George is doing a phenomenal job, and we want to reward everybody that's involved. So when somebody says, oh, enough with training, or enough with this, or not enough of that, I can't tell you when to go to work. All I can tell you, there's a work opportunity right this second. So all you have to do is go out and grab that, golden ring. It's out there if you want to take it, if you don't want to take it. But don't let, I'm not a very good salesperson, so therefore I don't want to call in a restaurant because I don't want to get rejected. Training will get you over that hump. You need to be on a call with Shanna because she's phenomenal. She's an amazing trainer. She knows exactly what's going through somebody's head if they need to be boosted up a little bit. So these are the things you guys got to think about when you talk about opportunity right here, right now. I've been doing startups. When I talk about business models matter, they really do. And I've been doing it for over 40 years. And I've had pretty good success at doing it. And this by far has got more meat on the bones than anything I've done. And it's a real simple equation if you think about it. Just it's what Paul said, everybody eats. So you have two sources of food in the United States, basically. One is through restaurants and one is through the grocery stores or Costco, people like that. So you have two channels of food. The restaurant food business is actually a little bit bigger than the grocery food business. Restaurants running somewhere around $780 billion, $800 billion a year, and the food business a little lower than that. So you have about $1.6 trillion to $1.8 trillion worth of food being consumed in the United States through just two channels, two supply chains. Well, when the supply chain, when the pandemic came, got crushed because people panicked and they started grabbing all the food. The restaurants were closing, all these things. So if you go right now around the country, and I would venture to say, if you go into a retail establishment like a Albertsons or a Vons or whatever they might use, you name whatever, Kroger's, you could probably see the supply chain weakening right now because of the restaurant closures. And they're still trying to keep up by having deliveries, which is our business, right? Deliveries. So that's not going to change over time. Over time, it's just going to get stronger, not weaker. So you have these two competing supply chains. And I would tell you in the stores, you'll probably see a weakening of that if they keep these restaurants closed much longer because people need to eat, right? So it's a pretty simple equation to really understand. But I'm a big proponent of what we're doing. I think we do more for the drivers. I just saw an article this morning that I think Art sent to me on Grubhub, how they're not allowed to give, under Prop 22 in California, they're not allowed to suggest a tip for the driver. So wow, Prop 22 really helped that driver. They're raising prices, and under any scenario when you raise prices, you're going to slow business down. Just a matter of fact. So if they're raising prices to cover expense costs, maybe they should go the other way, figure out what their expense costs are and cut those expenses down, internally in the corporate side. So that way they can operate at a lower operating and be more efficient. So all these things are happening in the marketplace, and they're all good for us because our business model is totally different than theirs. Our drivers get their own merchant account. They really are independent owner operators. The restaurant gets their own merchant account. So everything flows directly from the consumer to the end user. It doesn't stop at our door and then, we get all the cash, then we send it back out. None of that happens. So we do have a superior model. And as we start going down the road here, and Tony's been here about 6 weeks now, 7 weeks, I guess. And in 6 and 7 weeks, we've made some really great headway from just, getting Nashville up and running and testing. And that's one of my heartburns right now. We need to get Nashville really cranked up. So it's up to you guys if you want to crank it up. It's not me. I can cheerlead you guys to do it. And if they, if COVID wasn't around, I'd be down there signing up drivers myself. Believe me, I'd be down there because I love it. You know why? Because again, the driver is going to train me about our business because I'm going to ask them a whole bunch of questions. And that's how you learn about the business. You go into into that business, you spend time in that market, and then you start asking questions because you could have a preconceived notion, but it may not be right, may be totally wrong. So with that, I just want to tell you guys, you're really in the great place. You're at the right place, right time. Got great leadership with Tony and Paul coming on boards and boost for us. And we have a lot of field generals out there, William Mathis. I mean, I can go through the list. Now we have Leonard. I mean, we just have a host of new guys and older guys that are mature and gals that are here, and they're working really hard. One thing I want to clarify, and then we'll wind it up. I think it's, we've been on almost 50 minutes. We have old legacy drivers that are on board with us. It's nothing to do with anybody that's, just coming on now, but we had a position called legacy drivers. We said when we introduced the marketer program that legacies can upgrade to marketer. However, they're not going to be charged, but they have to sign up 2 marketers and they're enrolled for free. That puts them to the next level, more earnings power and all those things. You have to understand what I'm saying. You can't buy your way in. If you're a legacy, you can't pay to become a marketer and then look for a refund, 2 weeks later after you sign 2 people up, because there's commissions paid in that. That means we'd have to rewrite all kinds of codes. So we can't do that. So you have to sign up 2 marketers. You get your commissions. You have to sign up 2 marketers. You automatically become a marketer at that point. So it's pretty simple. I've said this on a number of calls. It's a little confusing for some. I want to make sure everybody understands it, how it works. And I'll be glad to explain it again. I think Shanna was talking about that tonight on her training also. So just get glued in these trainings. They're the most valuable thing you can do. It'll help you grow your business. It'll help you gain confidence in who you are to get out there and talk to the public. So anyway, with that, I just want to thank everybody. I hope everybody had a great, great Christmas. New Year's is right around the corner. Thursday's New Year's Eve. Friday's a whole new year, 2021. I believe this thing's going to get behind us. Probably going to take another 90 days to get the COVID kind of behind us and start opening markets at a rapid pace. But it's all here for us. There's nobody stopping us but ourselves. That's the only person in our way is us. And the thing about Tony, most of you guys may not know, but he's also was a professional tennis player. So he knows how to play at that very high level and the kind of training and dedication it takes, because you'll train a year and then you'll go play a match that may take 2.5, 3 hours, right? So how did you play that 2.5, 3 hour match? Is because you trained all year.
Yep.
Never forget it. Training is the most essential thing you got. So with that, Tony, if you want to wrap it up, and Paul, say goodnight. We're going to be, we'll figure out the schedule after this week for the following week for more trainings and all the other stuff. But you guys have a great New Year's. Stay safe. Don't do anything foolish. Try to, maintain your cool out there. Don't get around too many people with bugs. So anyway, guys, Tony, when you want to wrap it up?
Well, thanks. Appreciate all the vision. Paul, thanks again. We're so excited that we were able to merge My Libertai into the Trip Delivers family. Guys, get out there and spread the word. The stock options are there for the marketers. I can tell you the fear of God will hit you when one of your friends sends you a message and invites you to download the Trip Delivers application, and you weren't the one that invited them. And I'm telling you, it's going to start happening. Word is going to start spreading real quick. This thing is going to go viral, and some of the people and you should be recruiting are going to invite you to download the app, and that's a bad feeling. So don't let it happen to you. Get to your network before Paul does, before Bob does, and before I do, so those people fall into your organization. Because bottom line is there's people out there that are going to start talking to everybody. Might as well be you. So again, guys, the options are there. The timing's perfect. Let's get out there and let's go to work.
They got to go to work in Orlando right away. They got to go to put drivers on in Orlando, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, Atlanta, and finish up with Nashville. You guys do that, and then guess what? We're probably going to have another 10 markets come right behind this thing. So it's all on you guys.